There's a rumor that floats around on the internet that Charles Darwin recanted on his deathbed. He was a self-described agnostic, but just before he died in 1882, he decided to become a Christian. First of all, even if that were true, it wouldn't hurt evolution in the least. The evidence Darwin had, the massive amounts of evidence we've found since then, they all point to the truth of his theory. But how did this rumor even begin? Well, it started with a British evangelist named Lady Elizabeth Hope. She said in 1915 that when Darwin was dying, she visited him on his deathbed, and he was reading the Bible, and he kind of questioned evolution. She then wrote about the whole encounter for a Baptist magazine. But it turns out there were some problems with her story. Who knew? She said she visited Darwin at a specific time, but it was 7 months before he died. So he wasn't on his deathbed, first of all. There's no proof that Darwin was ever studying the Bible. Also, he didn't renounce evolution. He didn't even do it in her story, which makes you wonder how these legends even sprang up in the first place. And most importantly, the people who were around Darwin when he actually died, his daughter Henrietta, his son Francis, they were alive when Lady Elizabeth Hope's article came out, and they publicly rebutted it right then and there. They said it never happened. They said if their dad had become a Christian, they would have known about it, and they didn't. So why would this Lady Hope person lie? Why would she tell this story to begin with? Well, her critics say she had a very overactive imagination, and she was a very good storyteller. And the truth is, she had very little to lose by telling this story. And you can understand why Christians would love the story as it gets passed year after year. You take the person who's probably done more damage to religion than anyone else in history, and you get to say that even he saw the light. But let's face it, it wouldn't be the first time they decided to fall for a work of fiction. To their credit, Answers in Genesis, Ken Ham's creationist group, even they have an article on their website saying this whole thing about Darwin recanting is a hoax. Even they say Christians shouldn't take it seriously. But my favorite reaction to this whole myth comes from Richard Dawkins, who said that when he's on his deathbed, he's going to make sure there's a tape recorder turned on so that there's plenty of evidence that he didn't turn to Christ in his final hours. My name is Hemant Mehta, and I write at friendlyatheist.com. Leave a comment below, and we'll be sure to check it out. And don't forget to subscribe.